August 1951. A small town in the south of France. Witnesses described a man climbing onto the ledge of an upstairs window. He spread his arms, told the street below that he was an airplane, and jumped. In the retellings, he was neither drunk nor mad. A week earlier, he had been ordinary. But across that town on that same night, as the stories were told, victims felt fire under their skin and saw red snakes. Families were tying their own people down, and dozens were already in hospital beds. More than 250 people were sick, and every one of them had done the same harmless thing. They had eaten bread. So how does a loaf of bread drive an entire town insane? And why do so many people today insist that the answer is the CIA? Pont-Saint-Esprit is the kind of place where nothing is supposed to happen. A small town on the right bank of the Rhône in southern France, shuttered stone houses under plane trees, a 13th century bridge arching over slow green water, the bridge that gives the town its name. In the summer of 1951, the war is 6 years gone, and life runs on the oldest routine in France. Every morning the bakeries bake, and everyone buys bread. The 15th of August is Assumption Day, a holiday, and the loaves sell as they always do. The next morning, the town's 2 doctors start getting calls. Patients are doubled over with nausea and vomiting, shivering with chills, then flushed with sudden waves of heat. Food poisoning, the doctors think. Ordinary, over in a day. But the calls do not stop. Within days, there are dozens of cases, then hundreds, and instead of fading, the symptoms change. Patients begin to convulse. They describe a burning in their hands and feet, and about a week after the holiday, the town crosses a line that medicine struggles to name. As the stories were later told, one man swore snakes were devouring his brain. A boy fought to strangle his own mother. Witnesses described a figure balancing on the girders of the Great Bridge like a tightrope walker above the Rhône. And on the night of the 24th of August came the man at the window who believed he could fly. Patients were strapped into straitjackets and driven to asylums, around 50 of them in most retellings, 40 by the most careful scholarly count. Some never recovered at all. 7 people died by the most cited count, though the records disagree to this day. The newspapers gave the horror a name, le pain maudit, the cursed bread, because the doctors had found the one thread every victim shared. They had all eaten bread from a single local bakery, the bakery of a man named Briand. The town's daily miracle had turned on it. France demanded a culprit, so on the 31st of August, an official named cited announced arrests. Not the baker, the men behind the flour. A grain trader named Maillet and an associate named Brewer were charged with involuntary manslaughter for moving improper flour into the food supply. Whatever the poison was, it had traveled a chain. Field, mill, trader, baker, oven, table. But arrests are not answers, and into that silence the theories poured. The first suspect was mercury. Farmers of that era treated seed grain with mercury-based fungicides, and if treated seed reached a mill, it could in principle poison flour. But no chemical evidence ever tied mercury to this outbreak, and serious investigators quietly dropped it. Then, decades later, came the theory that swallowed all the others. In 2009, an American writer named Hank Albarelli claimed that Pont-Saint-Esprit had been a covert CIA experiment. LSD slipped into the bread to test mind control on an unsuspecting town. He pointed to a document he said he had found, referencing Pont-Saint-Esprit and the files of F. Olson, with the instruction, see to it that these are buried. Frank Olson was real, a CIA-connected scientist who fell to his death from a hotel window in 1953 and later became central to the Imcultra scandal. A dead scientist, a buried file, a poisoned town. The press ran with it, and it is still the version most people online have heard. But the theory dies on simple pharmacology. LSD taken by mouth hits in 30 to 90 minutes and burns out in about half a day. The people of Pont-Saint-Esprit fell ill more than 36 hours after eating the bread, and their delirium raged for days. LSD does not cause mass vomiting. It does not set fire to your hands and feet, and it does not kill like this. Chemists added the obvious. Secretly dosing hundreds of people with one of the most potent, dose-sensitive drugs ever made by hiding it in loaves of bread is not an experiment. It is a fantasy. Historians who studied the town rejected the claim because a name on a disputed document is not a mechanism. The clock alone acquits the CIA. So what was actually in the flower? Strip away the legend and the verified facts converge on one quiet, terrifying point. The poison entered through a single flour supply chain and came out of a single bakery's ovens. Not the water supply, not an attack, the bread itself. In September 1951, the investigating physicians, Doctors Gabay, Lisbon, and Pourquier, published their verdict in the British Medical Journal. Ergot poisoning. Ergot is a fungus that grows on rye, and its alkaloids attack the nervous system. Convulsive ergotism brings hallucinations, spasms, and that signature burning in the limbs. In the Middle Ages, it burned through whole villages that ate contaminated rye, and people called it St. Anthony's fire, which makes the conspiracy theory almost poetic in its wrongness, because LSD itself was first synthesized from ergot alkaloids. The legend blamed a laboratory drug when the fungus that gave us that drug may have been in the grain all along. May have been. Because in 2008, the historian Stephen Kaplan, after years in the archives, published the definitive study of the case and pushed back. The classic picture of ergotism does not fit, he argued, and the records show no clear gangrene, the signature of severe ergot poisoning. Kaplan's suspect is a chemical, nitrogen trichloride, a flour bleaching agent sold as a gene, used to whiten poor flour, and in his account present in the flour the town ate. It was a known neurotoxin. It gave dogs convulsive running fits that researchers called canine hysteria, and the United States had banned it around 1949, 2 years before the outbreak. So the honest verdict is this: the bread was poisoned, the supply chain carried it, and the bakery delivered it. That much is settled. The exact poison, a fungus from the field or a chemical from a cheat, has never been proven. No analysis ever closed the question, and no conviction of anyone was ever documented. The arrest made headlines, the headlines faded, and the file went quiet, which leaves the real mystery, the one that outlived the poison. Offered a choice between a moldy sack of grain and a global conspiracy, why did the world choose the conspiracy? Because of what bread is. In a French town in 1951, bread was not a product. It was a promise, bought every morning, broken at every table, trusted the way you trust sunrise. When the most trusted object in daily life turns on you, the mind cannot hold the implication that your own breakfast can hurt you and that nobody is in charge. So it reaches for a villain, a government, a plan. A poisoner with a plan is frightening, but a world where catastrophe needs no plan at all, only one careless hand in a chain of hands nobody is watching, is far worse. The evidence says Pont-Saint-Esprit was that second kind of horror. Wheat, a mill, a trader, a baker, an oven, and somewhere along that chain, a poison no one ever conclusively named. More than 250 people sickened, around 50 carried off in restraints, 7 dead by the most cited count. All of it from bread. The town is still there. The medieval bridge still arches over the green Rhone. The ovens still come on before dawn, and every morning people line up for bread, because they have to, because we all do. 3 times a day you stake your life on strangers you will never meet, and almost every time you win. In August 1951, one small town lost, and 75 years later, we still cannot say exactly why. We only know what the evidence allows. It was never the CIA. It was breakfast. If a story like this stays with you, subscribe to Bizarre Minds, and I will keep bringing you the strangest things that ever really happen. The world is far stranger than it lets on.